wanted to complain about this. Got the new high-speed cameras coming in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, I was actually just about to bring that up too.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think
'Cause I
like,
just got a notice about that.
oh dang.
Yeah,
Hopefully you
fucking
weren't getting
Fulton.
fined.
No, I was getting a warning. There's like,
Oh,
you got
yeah.
a warning because you were driving 32
Oh, yeah,
miles per
so-
hour on Fulton Street.
Yeah, so like within this past like week or this past week, basically they crossed the threshold for where they'd stop giving people warnings for these new speed cameras that they have all over the city and also in a lot of the major cities in the state. They're not giving people warnings anymore. Now they're going to start fining them. And of course, they're like, oh, well, we have a whole system. So if you're like low income, you pay like half or whatever. But it's still like they're penalizing people for driving too fast. And it's like, we live in California. People like this particular weekend, like outside lanes weekend, some people were driving friggin' crazy. I thought somebody was like about to like jump out of their car and like fight me as I'm pulling up to my house. It's like ridiculous. But I mean, I think the deeper thing behind this is like, so this was a part of an assembly bill, AB 645, that was a statewide bill that basically said they were going to put forward a pilot program to have speed cameras in a lot of major cities in California, you know, San Francisco, Oakland, a bunch of places in SoCal. And one of the I think there's one camera company in particular that's been providing a lot of these cameras called Flock. Mm-hmm. And there's pretty much like police departments all across the state, not just in the Bay Area, have been illegally sharing the data they've gotten with the feds to ICE, you know? And from what I was reading into, it's like this is one of those things where it's like, even though there was like an assembly bill that passed a few years ago, I want to say it's like AB 67 or something, a number of years ago, it's something that departments like routinely just like blow right past, you know, because they're like, okay, well, technically there are these like privacy laws that are on the books, and some of the privacy laws in California are pretty solid, you know. But stuff like this, it's like when it comes to the cops, and it's like, oh, we just scanned your license plate, and oh, they say they're looking for this person, so like we're just gonna pass this off to the feds. Like, there's absolutely no oversight, and it really feeds into this deeper, this deeper development that we're seeing and talking about the state kind of ramping up its surveillance and its, you know, capability to really police people in different ways. So.
And I think that's like the bottom line. Like, obviously, like I don't think anyone's in favor of like speeding in residential areas.
Oh, absolutely not.
But the basic issue is like if all this public money going into basic surveillance and criminalization and policing, right? Versus money into actual community safety, money that goes into, I don't know, infrastructural improvements, right? Yeah. Education, awareness campaigns. Instead, we're just going to go to automatically giving people moving violations with a camera.
Exactly.
Then possibly sharing that relationship with other law enforcement agencies, specifically with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So it's clearly, it's not just about like controlling speed, right? It's the rise in criminalization and surveillance.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's something we're just going to keep seeing a lot more of unless people really make a big fuss about it.
And I think the bigger thing is just like folks like, because when we think of like the doom loop, this idea that, San Francisco's just like a shithole filled with prostitutes, drug users, and the mentally ill. Its main streets are controlled by criminal cartels. Like, I think, the big thing to understand, like, what's the class basis of the doom loop? The class base of the doom loop is really middle-class property owners. Like the smallest, most vocal demographic in the city, probably only smaller, more vocal demographic are tech workers, right? They're very small, very vocal, right? So we produce all this big cultural implant. So it's an issue of our basic class orientation. So we understand, sort of the way I look at like community, like how we understand the needs of the community. We got to take it from that lens, right? And so we say we have to not just sort of give into this basic propaganda that says we have to beware of these boogeymen. We have to actually look at these things, really, really look at them ourselves, look into it, look into this information, and not just fall for these dog whistles and get on every bandwagon to fund the police every single time, because every single time it's all ultimately just another bandwagon to fund the police more.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot of these big tech interests and Yeah, definitely middle class property owners are like really buying into this stuff, and it's like they have a lot of money. You know, it's like the past few elections, they just like flood people's mailboxes with these mailers that go straight in the trash and deal with any of these campaign violations for coming up with these fake political organizations and ones that sounds like it's like, oh, like Together SF, like Better SF, Neighbors, you know.
Neighbors
It's
United.
all AstroTurf stuff, you know. And it's a lot to deal with, but it's like it's nothing that can't be overcome. It's really just a question about people actually going out there and organizing, and doing so in more than a way that's just like, oh well, we just need to get our right people in office and get the right things on the ballot, because like that's as we brought up before, like we see what happens.
Well, it's like just still a basic class question, right? So if the electoral system is meant for the capitalist class, then guess what? When we try to tax them with it, it's not going to work.